What do you think is like the biggest thing like they're struggling? Like, do they not have any content ideas? Do they just not have the time? Like,
Yeah, it's time. Honestly, time is the biggest one in my area, and even the people that I guess by virtue of how I started, because I started out on a team. I've always ended been in like the kind of peered with other agents that are like successful, like outside of like in actual like doing their jobs, like they're very successful, so they just don't have the time one to post, and then also they just also don't have the time to look for a VA. You'll say to them, hey, you don't need to make the content yourself, just go on Fiverr. And then they're like,
mm-hmm,
well, I don't even have time to go on Fiverr. So that's like a
mm-hmm,
major challenge. And then also it's the classic, I don't know what to post kind of thing. And
mm-hmm.
so then what they end up doing is just the regular, like, hey, now's a great time to buy, interest rates are low, or hey, I have this open house coming up. Hey, just kind of like that, the same
Like
old stuff.
promotional, yeah,
Yeah, it's just the same old stuff that you'll like. You can smell a realtor like
like
from a mile
house
away kind of
tour, yeah.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
So
So
what do you tell them? Like, what kind of stuff do you tell them to post?
just client stories. I mean, if so for example, you know, uh, realtors, I mean, they love to say, hey, look, we just closed on this house, like, so we'll take a photo with the client that they
Like with the
closed on.
keys?
Yeah, right. I mean, like the keys, and like, hey, we just bought a house, we just sold a house, which is great because you see like actual like people, and it's not just like
Mhm.
a thing. It's not just good marketing. But they never. But what I try and do is like just tell them to enhance it a little bit. Like give okay, you don't have to give the whole story about what happened, but what was um the major a major obstacle that they had to deal with. So for example, and I say do that instead of saying the classic, like, hey, interest rates are low, you can buy, or
Yeah.
buy, buy now, refinance later. Like, no one wants to hear that
Hmm.
shit, and especially at 7%, who the fuck is gonna buy a home at 7%? No one can do it, right? So if you say that, no one's gonna listen. But if you have somebody who just closed on a home at 7% interest rate, you can say, hey, so this person, like, had a 7% rate, but through doing this one thing, we found a way for them to, like, get a mortgage that was affordable without them having to like lose their minds or like spend all their
Yeah.
money, and now they're homeowners. So like do
So it's
that
like educational too
basically.
at the same time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's like the when I started, I was like trying to get everybody to do all sorts of different things, but I just landed on this one thing. Like, if you can just like give me, like, tell me like what's one big thing that people like they struggled with, or they
One thing you can teach them from
yeah,
this deal you just did. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. So make it
Like
more relatable.
like if you want to find the best mortgage broker, try to do this. Or if you're trying to get home inspection and this is you're having trouble, do this.
Yeah, basically like really
Yeah.
really simple stuff. And because yeah, so that's the main thing. So the big problem are the two things, like time, and then also um content that uh actually so content that actually resonates with, because you said this too a while back, with the actual like buyers or sellers, right? Like, not,
Hmm.
instead of realtors, because the shit, if you say, oh, rates are low, whatever, you're just talking to other realtors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So those two
That's actually
honestly.
what the biggest mistake I saw is that people see like Ryan Serhan or something like that, and they're making content about like real estate, but only other real estate agents are looking at that, right? Like
Yeah,